Hello, YouTube and fellow resellers. This is Kevin, the Stoic Reseller, back at you with an explanation video. I hope this one meets you guys all well. This is more or less a response to the greater goal of the channel. Basically, I want to explain what are promoted listings and are they good or bad? So let's start it off. If you're new here, I'm a part-time eBayer. I also sell on Poshmark. I buy new and used clothing. If you're interested in this material, let me know by commenting, subscribing, and sharing my videos. So let's get right into this, guys. Promoted listings, the proverbial divisive subject that every YouTuber who sells on eBay discusses ad nauseum. What are they? What are they good for? And of course, should you be opting into them? In this video, we're going to explore the main types of promoted listings, there's 3 of them, which are standard promoting listings, advanced promoting listings, and offsite ads. We're also going to explore how they work and what you should expect out of them. Well, what are they? There are the 3 types like I just explained. You can choose 1, 2, 3, all of them, none of them, a combination of them. They're designed to drive potential buyers to your items. eBay explains this through the metrics called impressions and page views, and they provide other key aspects such as click-through rate and sell-through rate. Let's bring this up here, and I really want to show you some interesting information. Whoa, you see me there? That was unscheduled, guys. So, what is the one thing I really wanted to point at was what is an impression, and I have this here, promoted listings standard, and I really want to point this out that there's best practices that they have on eBay. This is how they explain it to you, okay? But an impression to eBay is the number of times your promoted listings have appeared on the eBay site. Now, hey, that seems great, right? That seems excellent. Like, this is exactly a no-brainer that I should be doing promoted listings. It's a no-brainer. More people can view my item, absolutely. But naturally, what's the cost? What's the next question? And that is, of course, what's the cost? The cost is exponential. And essentially, the limit is what you're willing to wager. What is your risk level? How much of your profit margin are you willing to provide to eBay? Standard promoting listings, for instance, has a floor of 2%. And if you're feeling extra frisky, you can go all the way up to 100% of the sold value. Obviously, that's not a good thing. These percentages are based on the total sale of the item. The fee percentage is on top of any final value fees and transaction fees. And this goes essentially for all of the ad types. Advanced promoted listings is a kind of a pay to play or a pay per click ad. You can set a limit per day. You have a budget. But this one is a bit more tricky to use. This also has a limit that you can set per month or per day. Sounds good. This does do some great things, but we're going to go to the next one. And the third option, which is still somewhat in beta, is the offsite ads, which is how basically eBay is promoting your item on search engines and search results on Google and other platforms, as they say. The fee structure is very similar to the advanced promoted listings option. As you can see, all 3 of these ads can be very expensive. And eBay, of course, the reason for this is they want a piece of the pie. So what do you get for that piece that you're willing to give to eBay? Let's start with the standard promoted listings. Standard promoted listings, the way it's worded is you can get better placement. On each page, there's a promoted listings. There's sections on each page that are promoted. There's anywhere from 3 to 4, and it starts at the very top, the middle, and the bottom. you're not guaranteed any specific placement, and it's irrelevant how high you promote. There's other factors that go into that, of course. You also get into these here I have here on the screen. Being promoted on the standard aspect, your item will show up on similar items. So when a person clicks on an item, you will also be in this portion here. So basically, you're being listed on someone else's listing whenever a potential buyer goes into an item to buy. You also get into this customers also bought section of recent searches. Obviously, you can see here, this is an alpaca sweater, and customers also bought some polos. But these are based on my previous research of items that I have currently listed in my store. And if you're curious, we'll go back and I will show you the promoted. See here, the top 4 are promoted listings. And if you scroll down slightly, the other section of promoted listings starts right around the middle. And on the very bottom, you can also see promoted sponsored listings. That's what standard promotions will do for you. Next, we have the more complicated to use advanced promoting listing. Now, this one is the pay-per-click model. You only get placement within eBay itself. There are no additional areas that eBay will promote if you use this option. As mentioned, this option is a pay-per-click model. You can set that budget as a per day or per month basis, and then eBay averages it out over the course of the month. The problem with this is you're hedging based on keywords or other items. So you can base it on a certain keyword like a cardigan. You can do it based on the brand. For instance, on one of my videos, I highlighted the fact that you can do a random cool pants, the brand cool, KUHL, cool pants, just generic, no actual other keywords. And the top related item was a jacket. My community and the community as a whole conversed about that. We determined that that person must be using promoted listings advanced, which per eBay's own way they explain it, which is right here, promoted listings advanced is a cost per click advertising solution that provides priority access to placements across eBay to help you grow your business. Basically, you get additional other management tools, but according to them, and these are metrics based before let's just call it the April 1st apocalypse of 2023, because you can see here the source data is from September 22 through the 23rd, that there's 50% more sales if using this. However, the cost associated with this can be significantly higher, but as with all of these, it's based on your risk tolerance. So if you have a risk tolerance where you're willing to spend an extra $100 a month promoting using this feature, that's your own prerogative. And depending on how many items you sell over the course of a month, it may be worth it and it may not be worth it. The next is the offsite ads, which is currently in beta. It is very similar to the advanced listings feature, but as you can see here, eBay explains it as offsite ads help you expand the reach of your listings by attracting interested buyers beyond eBay. It gives you the ability to further promote your listings on leading external channels like Google, so you can capture a wider audience and help drive more traffic to your listings. Now, the interesting aspect to this is just that. It's a bit more difficult. It is another pay-per-click model, and so you have to have a certain budget that you're willing to spend. But you also have to have a certain product type. Now, I will kind of backtrack and lump advanced promoting listings into this, because a lot of the the key aspects or the benefits is they expect that you're going to do this on replenishable items. Let's get back to advanced promoted listings, and you can see best practices. You can have more keywords, refer to suggested bids keywords. But here you go. Promote items with high inventory, guys. So you have to pay close attention to what you're looking for. it clearly tells you that if you have multi-quantity or replenishable items that aren't used, these may be the best option for you because you get priority placement. These last two, these click per play models, give you the best priority. You basically supersede and trump everything else. You could have the worst listing possible, but these two specifically will make that item way more visible. Again, depending on cost, this seems like a no-brainer, right? eBay's going to show my item on Google. eBay's going to prioritize my item at the top of any generic search result in that brand or whatever the heck keyword I use. This is obviously a no-brainer. And I could build these fees into my business model and assume them as necessary expense. Now we're thinking like a professional seller, right? But wait, there's a second dark side to promoted listings, guys. Now, I am very open about it. I don't use them, right? But there is a lot of disconnect and a lot of, I would say, hatred towards promoted listings and people who talk about them. There's also a lot of just misinformation out there. And I think a lot of people get misconstrued with what is good and what isn't good. So we're about to have an uncomfortable conversation about promoted listings and whether or not you should be using them. Their main point that most people, the biggest contention is the lack of transparency, guys. As I've just explained to you and I've shown you the benefits, there is zero doubt that promoting your items will increase the velocity in your sell-through rate. I have no doubt in that. And I'll be the first one to tell you that if you feel the need to promote, you should promote. But with that comes caution. And buyer beware, okay? eBay only gives you half-truths with all of the data and information they give you. Let's look at my metrics, for instance. I want to show you that I am in the red on every single metric possible in my traffic's area. And this is by design, guys. Why do you think eBay provides this information to you? Is it so that you can make better informed decisions on what you're doing, what you're buying, what you're selling? Or is it designed in a manner that, psychologically speaking, makes you want to react, makes you want to think that you are doing something wrong? And that's the dark side of promoted listings. Let's akin back, guys. If we want to, and I encourage everyone to go and review all of the money that eBay has, or the income sales and stuff like that eBay has shared to their shareholders over the last 3 years. Since 2021, first quarter 21, eBay has been shedding sellers, buyers, and likes of that sort. Their general revenue has gone down. But how does that make sense? Well, eBay has currently admitted that one of their key pillars of revenue moving forward is promoted listings. Fine, they're a business. They need to make money, and we all understand that. But the problem is, promoted listings now isn't an option. Okay? And what I mean by that is, yeah, of course, I don't promote. But do you see all these red numbers? And I've struggled to maintain the level of sales that I've had. I'll be the first one to admit that there are days that I feel uneasy about what is happening to me and is what is happening in my store. It has led me to do things that I never thought I would do, and that is cross-listing. But now we all see the necessity of it. The big contention here, guys, is around April of last year, and I know this is a big talking point, and you can agree or disagree all you want, but you can't ignore the fact that it seemed like overnight in April, and for some sellers in June, impressions and sales were cut in half. And in some cases, even more. Now, some sellers have maintained their status quo. They haven't seen much of a change. And to those people, I applaud you. You're doing something correct. But for the vast majority of us, there was a big change. And that big change led me to stop promoting. And it's also what led me to start this YouTube channel to discuss and explore what is actually happening on the platform. What is going on is eBay, in some form or fashion, is strong-arming us into needing to promote. Now, it may be a small fee, right? What is 2% of a total sale? Isn't that a small price to pay to sell your item? Yeah, of course. I'm not arguing that promoted fees can be cheap. And I'm not going to argue the fact that some of these options can be cheap based on how many items you sell with them. The problem I have is this would be like if you walked into Walmart and you bought a toy, and the Walmart associate comes up to you and is like, hey, that toy needs AA batteries. And you're like, great, thanks for the information. And they say, well, no, you can't buy that toy unless you buy these batteries. Do you see? It's the same correlation. You can't, at this point, eBay is almost blatantly telling you, based on their current revenue, that promoted income is the only thing they have going for them. So what are they going to do? They're going to force us to promote in some fashion. That's the dirty truth, guys. We can't ignore that. And I understand that eBay and promoted listings won't go away. eBay will be here in a decade from now. Mark my words. I understand. But the fact of the matter is it may be a shell of itself. Look at the percentages of sellers and buyers they are losing year over year. Sellers, yeah. There's always, for every one seller leaving, there's always a seller that's willing to come back. But there's not always the case with buyers, guys. There's always seems to be less and less buyers on eBay. There's a finite amount, and it's getting smaller every single day. eBay's only option at this point to appease their shareholders is to increase their ad revenue. So where does it end? Look at other channels, guys. There are plenty of channels out there that will tell you, oh, look at these eBayers. They're just complaining. It's not eBay, it's you. And there's some truth to that. We all need to own our business. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, yeah, my struggles I control them. I've never denied the fact that taking promotions off could be and may be leading to my own demise. At the end of the day, guys, it's up to you. You need to realize, what is your risk tolerance? Are you willing to give eBay 50% of your total profit? I'm not. I would rather use the fees that I would be using on eBay to cross-list. Now, I've gone on and on about this, guys, and I hope that this video meets everyone with a certain level of open-mindedness. I'm not here to tell you it's a bad or a good thing. I'm here to point out the obvious. eBay and promoted listings will drive sales. There's no doubt about that, guys. What we need to open up our minds to is the fact that fees are only going to get more expensive as time moves on. What most people are selling, we cannot just inherently increase the price based on increasing the fees. It doesn't work that way. Supply and demand dictates, if the supply is low, cost goes high. If the supply is high, cost goes low. That's basic economic principle. But what isn't factored in there is, as supply goes up, all of a sudden our prices come down, but eBay is going to force their way in with higher fees. And that's not going to end anytime soon, guys. I'm going to make a closing argument here, and you can agree or disagree with me in the comments section. The problem I have, the biggest problem, is eBay markets this as a psychological tool to all sellers. And to some degree, it works. Why do you think there's such division amongst people on YouTube, including myself? What eBay is doing is almost genius. They've created a model where there's so many buyers on there that now they can charge you just to try to get your sale. But at the end of the day, nothing is guaranteed. Think of it this way, guys. These pay-per-click models, you may not sell a single thing, but whatever your budget is for the day is gone. To me, that's pretty scary. It's almost as if my odds at a casino are better. And I also want you to think of promoted listings somewhat as a drug. I've made this comment several times in past videos. Think of it this way. You start taking a drug and you start becoming addicted to it. And now you rely on that drug to sustain yourself in your life. But pretty soon, that drug starts drastically impacting your life. Financially, it starts impacting your health, and it starts impacting the way you think about life as a whole. Maybe eventually you snap out of it, you get the help you need, and you turn your life around. But the impact of that will forever reverberate within your life. Promoted fees can be the same thing. Once you start a promoted fee, say it just a standard one, eBay will punish you for removing that. And now you're essentially you're relying on that fee, that promotion, to make sales. Do you see where I'm going with that? I cut all of my promotions December 4th. In August, I stopped promoting new items. My traffic has never been the same. My sales have finally stabilized. But it has taken my store having nearly double the amount of stuff. It has taken everything that I have saved and used to build my inventory back up to a point where I can start to breathe again. Promoted listings is dangerous, guys. But if used properly, it could be a valuable tool to build your business around. Don't use it as a crutch. Don't use it because you feel like you require it to make a sale. Everyone here needs to understand exactly what they're doing, exactly what their numbers are, and how much are you willing to risk of your labor. Because time is finite, and all promoted listings is a devaluation of your time. So guys, if you like this content, if you liked what I said, or even if you didn't like what I said, let me know down in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe, and as always, until the next video, guys, rule the day.